But what is the doctrine? What is the investigative judgment? So we know from Edson's vision, Christ went into this different place in heaven and started something new. How is this doctrine developed, and what do they believe about it now? They say there is a sanctuary. But what is the doctrine? What is the investigative judgment? So we know from Edson's vision, Christ went into this different place in heaven and started something new. How is this doctrine developed, and what do they believe about it now? They say there is a sanctuary in heaven, the true tabernacle which the Lord set up and not man. In it, Christ ministers on our behalf, making available to believers the benefits of his atoning sacrifice offered once for all on the cross. He was inaugurated as our great high priest and began his intercessory ministry at this time of his ascension. So he dies here on earth. He begins his, after he ascends to heaven, now he's beginning his intercessory ministry for us. That's what happened at this point. But now in 1844, they're pointing back to the Great Disappointment, in 1844, at the end of the prophetic period of 2,300 days, he entered the second and last phase of his atoning ministry. It is a work of investigative judgment, which is a part of the ultimate disposition of all sin, typified by the cleansing of the ancient Hebrew sanctuary on the Day of Atonement. Now, important thing to point out here is it says the last phase of his atoning ministry. So in 1844, he enters into this inner sanctuary in heaven and begins the last phase of his atoning ministry. Now, what does that mean for us? If he's still working through the atonement's not complete. If the atonement's not complete, there's no guarantee of forgiveness. There's no guarantee of salvation. There's no guarantee of where you're going to be after this life, because he's still working through the last phase of this atoning ministry. And what's he going to do? His work is about the ultimate disposition of all sin. It's not taken care of solely on the cross. Something else has to be done in this inner sanctuary in heaven, and that's what he's working on. Continuing on with this, well, first of all, I divide this up to help us think through what they're saying. This investigative judgment that he's doing accomplishes two things for us, or for God, or you'll see for who in a minute. The investigative judgment reveals to heavenly intelligences, which, let me explain right there, those are angels, okay? Investigative judgment reveals to angels who among the dead are asleep in Christ, and therefore in him are deemed worthy to have part in this first resurrection. So the investigative judgment helps angels understand who's going to be resurrected. Okay, good. For the angels, they can know now. And the next part, it also makes manifest who among the living are abiding in Christ, keeping the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus, and in him, therefore are ready for translation into the everlasting kingdom. So the first thing it does for us is it helps the angels know who's going to be resurrected. And the second thing, it helps the angels know who among the living are worthy also. And we might think in terms of rapture or whatever, translated, the words that they use there. So this is going to help those angels know. Isn't that nice that the angels have a way to know? Why is this needed? Why do we need the investigative judgment so the angels can figure this out? Well, get this for an answer. This judgment vindicates the justice of God in saving those who believe in Jesus. It declares that those who have remained loyal to God shall receive the kingdom. Question: does God's justice need to be vindicated, especially to the angels? It just doesn't even make sense why someone would want to believe that so if he didn't do the investigative judgment, then what? The angels throughout eternity would be going and saying, I don't know if that guy really should be in here. I saw his life, man. So no, he's not. We don't need the justice of God to be vindicated. Last part here, the completion of this ministry of Christ will mark the close of human probation before the second advent. So when Jesus is finished with the investigative judgment, it's over. Jesus is coming, pack your bags, kind of thing. You need to be ready to go. You don't know when the investigative judgment is going to be over. I mean, he's going to be investigating the lives of everybody who's ever lived and also the lives of everybody who are living. You don't know if your name's already been covered yet. He might have already gone through your life. It might be too late. We are on probation. Well,